everybody. It's Safi and Marco, dish out on the movies, but today it's TV time with Chucky. And we are on episode 5 of the new series about Chucky on, I don't know.
Syfy.
Syfy. Well, I get it on Hulu, so there's so many little doors to open before you get there that it's hard to keep track. But anyway, the episode is number 5, and it's called Little Lies.
Well, first off, let's talk about the title.
I don't know what that refers to.
Well, I mean,
I'm sorry.
Just the title just doesn't make any sense at all.
Okay, so if it doesn't make sense to you,
Little Lies, like what?
So we don't know. Like last time, it was totally more obvious, even though I didn't get it, but Marco did. But this time, if he didn't get it, then I get an excuse because I didn't understand.
I don't understand Little Lies. What's that referring to? Oh, is it the mayor telling little lies to people or something? Like I don't know.
They don't like her.
Okay. I don't either.
Well, I have a lot of things to say, little things.
A lot of little things.
About, maybe that's it.
But they're not little lies, they're little truths.
Yeah, well, they're observations. And I guess the main one is apparently the, quote, cult of Chucky. And I hope everybody's seen that movie, because if you haven't, you better go watch it before you watch any more of this show.
Yeah.
Because if I hadn't seen that, I would not really have understood everything that was going on with these two women who were there and what happens to her in the episode with suddenly not being able to walk, etc., etc. Well, I would not have understood. I would have been like their victim who was sitting there in the chair getting ready to get killed, or whatever they were going to do. I would have been like, what in the heck is she talking about? So apparently this cult of Chucky, they're continuing the story into this series. And just let me mention, I'll say this, I don't think it's a secret, because this has been going on ever since Chucky started. He says this little spell, and all of a sudden you get the...
He transfers his soul inside you.
Right, and so that has been going on forever and ever. But, well, that continues into this one. So they have multiple dolls now with him. And then, but also not only that, they show Nika.
Yeah, Safi, get it right. Get it right.
Okay, and what's
Tiffany,
her name? Tiffany. I should think of Tiffany Lamps, although, whatever. Anyway, Nika apparently has the spell into her. So, I mean...
Yeah, that happened in Cult of Chucky, remember?
Right,
Safi?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That this is continuing to come into there with this doll, the Tommy doll. That
happens at the very end, but let's just mention let's just go through the whole episode. First off, let's just talk about the flashback scenes and get that over with. I really liked how they improved on the flashback sequences, because that was something that a lot of people complained about with Curse of Chucky, was that you have Brad Dourif and he was like in makeup, and as far as I could tell, they got like a completely new young guy.
Okay.
And then they just have Brad Dourif do the voice, which I thought that was really cool. And I actually thought, like, I wouldn't mind just seeing like an origin movie with like just the whole movie is young Chucky, young Charles. But then what I really didn't like was, if you guys don't know, I really don't like the idea of Tiffany. I liked it. I would have liked it if she was just like a fan of his, a crazy fan who got into a relationship with him. But I really didn't like that they made up this stupid origin where she was killing with him the whole time, and because he was the killer, And then he had his partner Eddie. Like, where does Eddie come into play? You know, they never talked about any Tiffany. They never, you know, if they were a murder couple, they would have mentioned that and said that they were like you know, like those other two. Like they call them like the Ken and Barbie killers or something. But they didn't mention anything like that. So I really didn't like that they had to have this young version of Tiffany and, you know, continue that stupid origin story, because they basically killed this blonde girl. And the blonde girl, she kind of deserved it. I mean, just in terms of how it was so bad, Safi. Like, she's kissing this guy in a nightclub, and she's like moaning while she's kissing him. And it was like the most cringeworthy thing of all time.
Yeah, I didn't
It's
care for him.
it's like you could tell that it's like that's not how it works. So I thought that was really queer and really like cringeworthy, and I was kind of, you know, she deserved to get killed by Chucky, and so that was, but the stabbing was fake too. I didn't like the effects in the show have been really hit and miss with how fake they look versus how good they look. And the stabbing effect in this episode was really bad. It really looked like amateur hour. It looked like something out of the Terrifier. But that was that. They had Tiffany's origin of how she met Chucky. I guess they just happened to meet and they become killing partners. That was stupid. So, Safi, what did you think of that?
Well,
I did like Chucky.
I didn't realize. I thought that was a different actor.
Yeah, and it was a different actress, too, for Tiffany. Because she was a redhead.
Right, because he said, I like blonde hair at the end, when they were done with that whole sequence. I like blonde hair. So, whoops, it's okay. Just dropped a bottle here. Don't worry.
So Safi, let's continue.
Anyway, I don't know what else to say except I thought what they did, because it's not realistic. He is older.
Yeah.
And it's it might have been okay if they'd done this 5 years after the movie was made. It is not 5 years after; it's several.
Another weird thing is how he's dressed up like he is.
Yeah,
in the night where he gets killed, and it's like, did he just dress up like that all the time? Like, he literally looks like Tommy Wiseau.
I know. I thought.
I was like, what?
Why is he dressed? Or he looks like the guy from that rock band who's married to the TV person. They're British. Ozzy Osbourne.
Rock band.
He looked just like Ozzy
Osbourne.
Yeah. Ozzy Osbourne would wear that black coat and have his hair exactly. His hair's curlier.
He had the sunglasses on like Tommy Wiseau.
Oh yeah, well, he really looked like him too. I was like, God, why does he look so familiar? Anyway, I didn't care for those movies. So anyway,
I thought he should have been dressed differently. That was stupid too. But I really liked the scenes. The idea of showing him at that age and showing more of him actually killing and being the killer he is. I just didn't like the execution.
Okay.
And so next, what do we have? We have a lot to talk about. Just a lot of crap.
Well, God.
A lot of little crap. Well,
apparently, I guess. Okay, I'll just bring it up, because I'm older, and we wouldn't have had this, but, you know, Marco can talk more about it, the realities of the situation, but with Jake and Devin, you know, Devin, I don't get him anyway. He all of a sudden, he's decided he's going to tell everybody he's gay, or admit it to.
Yeah, just
I don't know if everybody knew that.
Nobody knew Devin was gay, including us.
Right, and you know, and at the beginning of this series, people were saying, "Oh, Jake's gay, baby," and they were really making fun of him, and I mean, me being really evil and horrible to him.
Well, gay does rhyme with Jake, so that is pretty funny.
Yeah, well, whatever. And so now, Jake and Devin, they openly hold hands in front of their classmates at school.
I hated that.
And also at that public, I don't know what it was supposed to be, announcement in that auditorium.
Town hall or something?
I don't know.
It was really weird.
But whatever. And nobody knows or pays attention.
Yeah, everyone
like,
just
really?
walks by like it's perfectly normal to these kids who...
And I know
in the
in
first
middle
episode
school,
they were making fun of them,
and this is middle school. Okay, if this is high school, that might be another story. I don't know, but well, Marco knows. But anyway, this is middle school, and I don't know one person from any century who likes middle school. I mean, everybody hates middle school because it's just awful. People are mean, and they're cliquey, and they get depressed. I mean, they're just all over the place because people are growing and changing, and there's hormones, and they pop in, they pop out, and it's just an awful time. And the teachers can be such jerks. They could be stupid. I mean, I remember, and I just, even with me, I went to a horrible middle school. It was just horrible. It was horrible. The only good thing was I played violin, and we had a really good violin teacher, and we had orchestra. That was it. Other than that, I didn't learn anything. It was awful. So you have, for some people, it's 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. For others, it's like junior high is 7th, 8th, and 9th. I mean, but this was like 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. I don't know what their middle school is. But it really, is it suddenly okay? I don't get nobody, I mean, I don't care. I'm not saying
Yeah,
I
you
care,
do.
it matters to me, but I'm confused because I know what middle school's like. It doesn't change. It doesn't matter what century we're in.
Yeah,
Nobody likes middle school.
That scene was so cringeworthy and dumb.
I'm like,
how
what are we
They're
doing
standing
here?
in the middle of the hallway holding hands.
I mean, I can understand how all three of them are bonding together to get rid of Chucky because they feel like nobody else knows what's going on, and it's up to them. I understand. Cool. I think that's great. I like that.
It reminds me of It, but actually better, actually written well.
So I really like that part. And but then they do this other thing. I don't know. I just don't know why they're doing that.
You jumped ahead a little bit though.
Well, I don't know what to.
You just wanted to talk about that part. What did you want me to say?
Well, I just wanted to make sure. I just wanted to get out of the way.
Hand it over to me.
Okay, go ahead.
Hand the baton over to me.
I just said go ahead.
You know, like we're running. We have to do a running contest.
Okay, Marco, go ahead.
So I took the baton now, the gay baton. Because the scene, nobody likes that. This public indecency where people are like groping each other in the hallway.
And he's not talking about
they're
just
kissing
gays.
In the hallway.
Anybody.
Oh yeah.
Straight, gay.
Saw that
whomever.
all the time.
Nobody
liked that. Everyone would cringe. They would take up the entire hallway. Like that Australian girl would with her boyfriend. Remember her, Safi? She would do that all the time. And they're groping each other in the hallway. They block the entrance to the bathroom. They block the entrances to classes. They block the stairs, walking up the stairs, and people are kissing on the stairs. And it's like, you just like to push them down the stairs because it's like, get the fuck out of here with that. Like, nobody wants to see that. Like, this disgusting ass shit in public. And nobody wanted to see this with Jake and Devin. They're holding hands.
Well, I'm just shocked that not one person.
No one stopped. Everyone just casually. There's not even any teachers either.
Well, whatever. I just don't.
Even any teachers or any
I don't-
adults walking
so
around school.
all of a sudden, is it because of Devin? Because I didn't think he was that well liked either. He's more well liked. They know him better, it seems like. But
There's no way
I
in
thought there
hell.
was tension at the beginning.
There's
about
no
him.
way in hell someone who knows and does a podcast about true crime would be liked around school. No way in hell would that happen.
I don't know
So
about that, but it just surprises me. This is middle school. This isn't
That
high
sequence
school.
was so dumb.
So I don't know what's going on with that. And I would think they would be nervous and feel nervous. And I guess they're just so much.
Well, I'm glad that I didn't act in that scene, because that scene would make me want to just never want to show my face in public again.
I don't know.
Of how cringeworthy that was. It was just a cringeworthy scene.
Well, I wasn't. I didn't.
They have like a time lapse, and it's just, they don't even say anything. They're just holding hands, and it's like, oh yeah, Devin's gay too, conveniently.
And I wasn't even sure Jake was gay until there were a couple of scenes like he talked to Chucky, and so so he says something like, "Oh, you're okay with me being gay or something," and Chucky said, "Yeah, my own child was." Didn't he say that? My own child was gay or something.
Yeah, that shitty Glenn character that no one
Glenn,
liked or wanted.
I keep forgetting. I guess he's so forgettable.
Yeah, nobody liked that character.
Well, anyway, I just
nobody wanted that.
This
character.
is middle school, and that's all I'm thinking about. How horrible middle school is. How bad everybody is. They're just.
It's like all of a sudden.
You're
like,
all over the map.
They're
in middle
supposed
school.
to. At the beginning of the series, Jake feels like he's alone.
Yeah.
And he's like, the school's like a prison.
He was a pariah.
And then all of a sudden, he's just casually standing in the middle of the hallways, blocking the hallways with Devin, holding hands. Ugh. But another thing I want to mention that came before, because there's a lot more stuff to talk about. The kids go in the incinerator room or whatever, the trash room, because Lexi's dad throws Chucky down the incinerator shaft, and he falls into all these needles and gets high from all the needles, which that was really weird.
Yeah, it's just
that was kind of dumb.
On.
And he's like, I love hospitals. He repeats the line. He already said it in the 4th episode. He had to repeat it again. Because the writer forgot his own writing. And so then all the kids except for Junior, because Junior's just he's just sleeping at this point. He
just had that
he's like a ghost
procedure.
He's like a ghost. He's like the ghost of Junior or something. The ghost of Whisperface or something. I don't know. They go down there and they agree that they're going to kill Chucky together. And what's funny is they think that Chucky is in this dumpster, and yet they're just loudly talking in front of the dumpster and loudly discussing their little plan to kill him. Like, if Chucky's in there, there's no way he's going to hear them talking. There's no way. They're literally standing right outside the dumpster. There's no lid on the dumpster. And they're casually talking and saying, I'm going to give you the stick, and you do that, and you do that. And she's like, no, I don't want to do that because you did it. And then they do the plan, and then all of a sudden they act like they're being loud after that, and they don't care if he hears. But it's like, he would have heard the whole thing. That was stupid. Don't you agree? Did you notice that, Safi? Because I noticed that. I was really like...
Well, I just didn't think he'd still be in there. They're acting... I don't know. It's like 1 minute they understand that he's a supernaturally possessed doll or whatever. And then in another breath, they are treating him like a doll.
Yeah.
Like he's just a doll. He's not just a doll. Yeah, he's like a human. He jumped out of the damn dumpster. He's not anywhere near there. I mean, come on, give me a break.
And then Jake's making the same face that he makes every couple of seconds. Safi, what's it look like? What does it look?
I don't know, Marco.
he twists his face and makes like a cringed face. Like, it's so funny. He just keeps doing that over and over again, like it's a superpower or something. It's so weird.
And again, who gets the best acting awards in this series?
Lexi.
And little sister made an appearance.
She's really good too.
She's really good. The other ones, let's see. Oh, and Chucky. Although I don't really think he had that big of a.
Chucky doesn't really have a big part in the show anymore.
Not in this episode.
Which that's why I really liked it at the beginning, because I felt like Chucky was going to be a huge part in the show, but it just it feels almost like a cameo to have Chucky in the show.
Well, especially this episode. I just don't think he said that much.
But I did think that Jennifer Tilly and Fiona Dourif, I think that they did a good job in this episode. I liked both of their performances.
I just don't know what they're doing there.
You know, they're much better than Junior and Devin and Jake.
Those three.
The trio of trash.
I'm not going to call them trash.
Well, I like their character ideas, but I just don't like their acting that they've been directed to do. Like, it's all the director's fault. It's not their fault, you know.
I don't like Junior's whiny, childish. But I understand about his father and how he
feels.
How he feels. And because I thought they both thought he was insane when he said, "Oh, well, I made some calls and I got you into the national whatever competition," and Jake says, "But I didn't compete in the regionals. It's not fair," which is not. He says, "Well, what you have to do is when you get these advantages, you have to take it. You have to use them."
That's what you say all the time, Safi.
Yeah, but not in that case.
Yeah.
But I've done plenty of music contests. I've done acting contests. I've done all kinds of different contests, and that's just not appropriate. Look at those people who made all this stuff up about all these actors and actresses, and made stuff up about their children so they could get in a better school. They had to go to prison for making stuff up.
Yeah, that bitch from Casper, the Spirited Beginning. She was in Casper, the Spirited Beginning. She played Lori Loughlin. She played.
I know.
She played the teacher in Casper, the Spirited Beginning. Remember that teacher with the dark hair? She was in that. I saw it and I was like, ugh, I don't want to watch this movie anymore. With at least the parts where she's in it. It's like she was already kind of ugly and, kind of annoying.
No, she's
and now it's even worse.
That family with the twins and everything.
She's even worse than Junior, because at least Junior, he has an excuse because he's like 13. But this bitch is in her 30s or 40s, and
I think she's
trash.
In her 40s. Well, anyway, all I'm saying is that I just don't like the way his character is. And then he gets Well, at the dinner table, now we all know this is a real problem, that teenagers bring their phones to the table, and parents don't like it, that they could give it up, and the parents too. Not have their phone at the table.
Yeah, the parents too.
All of them.
Safi.
Everybody.
Everyone.
Okay, and nobody should be excluded. And so they got a little angry, and then Junior sees who the text is from.
Yeah,
it's from Lexi, and he has Cal, and he's jealous.
So sad.
And
he's jealous that a gay guy is texting his girlfriend. I mean, how pathetic is that?
On. Really?
Yeah.
But that's being 13. See, that's why I'm saying middle school is all over the place. And then when he sees them at the auditorium.
Well, let's talk about that, because we'll start at the auditorium. They're sitting.
Near the end.
They're sitting. We've jumped all over the place like we're fucking.
Well, I just want to make sure.
Tell Me Your Secrets TV show. They're sitting together, Lexi, Jake, and Devin, and they're sitting together, and there's like a seat next to Devin on the right, and they filled up the other seats, and then Junior comes over, and he's mad that like they won't fucking move over a seat. Like, there's literally, if they just all three scooted over one seat, he could sit next to his girlfriend.
Quote girlfriend.
But they won't even do that. Like, WTF? Like, is it because they just want to talk about Chucky? Is that the reason? But I still thought that was kind of shitty because, like, that is really weird. Like, you could just scoot over one seat and he can sit next to her and he can probably fall asleep dreaming about, I don't know, like fucking,
foot races,
putting on different socks that smell good and stretching before his big races. I don't know what he dreams about because he never really even says or talks about what he actually cares about. Like he has no other character except for his dad through him. So, I don't even know what he actually likes to do, if not racing. But that scene was stupid, and then it ends with, it turns out that, the mayor does a speech.
And nobody likes her. I was surprised by that.
Well, I don't like her either, so.
I don't like her either, and I don't think she's, remember what I said last time, if you don't know, she is Lexi's mother in real life, and if you look at them and listen to them, they do sound a lot alike, and their actions and everything, her hand.
Lexi's a better actress than her mom.
But her Lexi is the better actress, and I'm sorry, but that's really the case.
That was mean.
But she says terrible things to her daughter during the episode. She's really mean, and she's like dismisses her from the room. Tells her to get away. She can't stand the way she's acting, and she's not doing anything wrong.
And I'll say this too, it's really weird that the dad is played by the evil doctor from Cult of Chucky, because he did a really good job in Cult of Chucky, but it's just really weird how they're acting like these are connected, but then he looks exactly the same as he did in Cult of Chucky, so it's like, what's up with that? Like, you couldn't have him look different, like maybe grow a beard or something, or wear, because he looks like the doctor if the doctor just went home to a family or something.
Yeah, and the dad also, I wanted to say, he shows a lot more acting and character than he... more than he has in any other episode.
Well, that's true, but that doesn't mean it's really great. Like,
it's not that great, but it's because he's doing what has been given to him.
Yeah.
So that's all. Anyway, what else?
Well, the mayor does the speech. She gets booed, and then Devin's mom comes on, and Safi laughed because Devin's holding hands with Jake again, like everyone wants to see that in public. Just casually holding hands in the auditorium for some reason. Really weird.
And Devin's mommy,
she's really upset.
And her eyes pop out of her head.
And it's like, I can't wait to see Chucky kill that bitch.
Well, I don't like that. She's a cop, and
yeah,
she's the only one. She's the only one they have, apparently.
She thinks that Jake is the killer for some reason.
Yeah,
she was like trying to forbid Devin from seeing him, and really cringe-worthy.
You know what it's really about. She knows her son is gay. She knows Jake's gay. She doesn't want them to get together. Basically, that's what that really is.
Well, I don't either, because Jake has a lot more chemistry with Lexi.
Yeah, I know that, but still, it's a helicopter parent thing, and I don't care for it. But I just thought
you love that scene. You just
I just could, because she was on the stage, and she's they're talking about murders happening, and they're trying to stop it. I guess that she thinks it's all solved or something, and it can't be though. That Junior got killed. They don't know how he was.
Junior got killed.
Not Junior. I mean, what's his name? Simon. Simon.
No, not Simon. What? His name was Oliver.
Oh, Oliver. God,
Safi.
Well, anyway, Oliver got killed. They don't know what happened. So. Anyway, she's up on the stage. I mean, she's in her cop business mode, and she looks over at her son, and he's holding hands with Jake, and her eyes just pop out of her
I guess that was better than the other two gay scenes that they had.
Well, it's just so funny. It's like if she was weak-kneed and she would have passed out at that time. It just was hilarious.
And then the principal, apparently Chucky killed her behind the backstage, and her head rolls on stage, and everyone's like, "How is Chucky still alive?" Well, because they actually, the disfigured Chucky found his way home to, God, what was the little sister's name?
I don't know.
I can't remember.
I can't either.
He finds his way to her, and they steal the dowel, and they kill it. They stomp on it and shit.
And they stomped it to pieces. There were pieces everywhere.
Well, I was saying, like, even if they did stomp it, Chucky still would have been able to put himself back together.
I know.
That was kind of weird.
So I want to know. I have a question. Is Chucky now becoming Michael Myers, where he can't be destroyed?
Well, Safi, he that's what I was getting to. He transferred his soul before they stole the dowel. So he already transferred his soul into Tommy, which that was really weird because the other dowel in the second one, he was named Tommy. So it was really weird that now there's another doll named Tommy. I thought that was kind of strange. But he transferred into him, and so he's completely okay now. And he killed the principal very randomly off screen and rolls her head out. And they play a song that says, like, "Off with her head" or something. And that's the end. And so, I don't know. It's really weird because... Well, and okay, let's talk about the other gay scene. Because there's this really cringeworthy scene where Devin and Jake are riding their bikes home, and they go in front of, like, the back of, like, a giant cross, and then they kiss each other. And it's a really gross scene because it's just so, like,
Set up.
it's so contrived and so, like, just ugh. And it doesn't feel natural at all. And, you know, Safi even turned her head away when she was watching the scene because it was just so cringeworthy. And, you know, just stop. Just don't do that. Just don't do that. Like, don't do it. Don't do it, because that was a highlight in a bad way. You know, especially just the fact that they had to have a giant cross in the background. You know, that was really weird. Like, you know, you'd never see a talented director like Stanley Kubrick doing a scene like that. You know, you'd never see a talented director like Oliver Stone doing a scene like that. So that was a really bad scene. And just the fact is about this episode was that it was overall enjoyable, but there were just all these, like, little things that were bad throughout the whole episode. And just the fact that they're continuing the stupid continuity from the Cult and Curse, and then they had Tiffany's character in the origin. There's just so many little bad things that took away from this episode. And that's what I was worried about, because at the beginning of the season, I thought it would be a very intimate story where it would just be all about this town, and it would be very, like, intimate and character based, and you get to see these, like, great characters develop. But now it's just feeling like it's going to become a giant clusterfuck, like with Cult of Chucky, like that movie did. Do you agree, Safi? What do you have to say?
Well,
Say something.
I just don't know how this is all going to turn out. Because, I mean, did he, I can't remember, did he get up on, after the principal's head rolled out onto the stage, did Chucky make an appearance? Did he come out on stage?
They didn't show that. He was just backstage pulling the curtains, so they didn't show him coming
that's right.
on
Because
stage.
that's when they were going into the next, leaving the episode.
Well, that's what they were showing the flashback with the him bringing Tommy to life. So, but do you agree with that, Safi? That, like, there's just all these little things that, like, ruin it. Like, even though the episode itself is enjoyable and it's not necessarily like a bad episode of TV. It's just not a good episode because of all these little things.
Well, the thing is, uh, when I was in Tanzania, in East Africa,
Oh, Safi.
we were on
You're
this
going to
road.
talk about Giardia again?
No, we were on this road and we were going to our fieldwork site, and it was paved and normal like we have out here. And I know people might complain sometimes about the state of the roads, but ours are pretty good. And when you have nothing at all, and then you have holes and ruts, you end up going, and you're driving in a vehicle that's a 60s vehicle with no suspension. You tend to go like 5 miles an hour, and you have to go like halfway across the country, because the first half was the paved part. And so that's what it's like, that episode. When you, all these little things that come up, they're little tiny things, but they like crop up like potholes and ridges. And you're trying to make your way through it, and you're wondering how it's all going to end. Now, I knew where we were going to end up, and so, but this is not like that. This is a TV show, and they've come up with something we'll see later on. But I just don't know how this is going to turn out. I don't know where it's going. I don't know
clusterfuck.
where they
Let's
want
just
it to
admit it,
go. And
Safi.
because I don't understand why Tiffany and Nika are in the episode. Marco says it's fan service.
It
But
is
what
fan
has it got to
service.
do with these people?
Because
they're
I
nowhere
guess
near it.
They're going to come to town because they've shown them in town before in previews. So
they've got
in all these
this.
spoilery previews. They just spoil everything in these previews.
And then Marco says that the original boy
yeah, Andy's coming.
is
they
coming
showed that in the preview.
in episodes, would you say 8 maybe?
I don't know.
We don't even know. So what's he coming for?
They're all coming.
Is he the key to saving the day?
Even Santa Claus is coming to town.
Yeah, excuse me. And that's, you're trying to watch it. And, I know that you all out there, some of you might just think, oh, we just criticize. We care about what we're watching. We are, especially me. I have so many responsibilities. I'm investing my time, and I want it to be time well spent, as I'm sure all of you do too.
Well,
you don't have all the time in the world to watch TV, and you want it to be good.
But we know it can easily be better too. Like
Right.
if we took like an hour to just revise this episode, it would have been 1,000 times better.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I'm
It's that
qualified
easy.
or if
But
I
it's
care
that
to do
easy.
it.
It's that easy. Like it's not hard.
But I don't know if this. I guess it's agenda. I call it agenda sizing. I know it's probably not a word. More than likely, I don't really care. The thing is, if there wasn't this thing about agenda sizing everything lately, I mean, I don't care what the agenda is, any agenda. I call it agenda sizing. When they stick something in that doesn't really flow through the episode, it's just kind of like, it's adding like, let's say you made chili and you added pumpkin pie spice. I mean, really? Would you do that?
Well, and they also, they have little agendas too, like when the mayor says that she gives everyone thoughts and prayers.
Oh, God.
That's a little agenda that people say, like,
and
whenever there's a crisis happens, they say thoughts and prayers, and it's
Yeah,
really
like,
cringeworthy.
it is. Nobody likes it.
Well, I'm just saying, like, that's a little agenda, too, that the writer put in there.
Yeah, so anyway,
There's lots of them.
If we didn't have this, whatever period we're going through where we've got to agenda size every single thing we watch, it isn't natural. It sticks out. And do you want it to stick out like that? I mean, what are we watching it for? What is the story about? What are we trying to do? We're trying to have a series with Chucky. What do people? Why are people watching it? Are they watching it to see an agenda?
Well,
They're watching it to see Chucky.
people. There is a small amount of weirdos on Twitter who are watching it for the agenda.
Well, okay.
But no one
It's
cares
like
about them. They don't matter.
it's like is this what we have to put up with every single thing we watch?
Yeah, every
The
single
agenda
thing.
awesome to the to keep having these agendas pop up, and it's I don't think it's wise, and it's like an interruption, just like we just got interrupted just now, and it doesn't help. I don't think it helps the story. I don't think it adds to the story. But the problem with this show, and we've talked about it several times, is that there's so many weak actors, and the only good ones that we've been able to recognize are Chucky, who's hardly on it, and then Lexi and her little sister, but everybody else is pretty weak.
Yeah.
And like, even when they talk, it's whispery and quiet.
Well, Junior was whispering. He was like literally just whispering all of his lines.
And so the only thing I can think of is sticking these agendas in makes people wake up, because they're like lulled into not sleep, but like, and not boredom, but like, what
Like,
else is
what
going to
does this
happen?
matter? Like, why is this in this story about a killer doll? Like, what
I
does
don't
this
know.
have to do with the story?
Yeah, I know. So
It takes a lot, though. Like, there are some people, and they'll see this and they'll be like, oh, who cares? I don't see anything wrong with this. I don't know why people are complaining.
okay, well, I'm just telling you, we're complaining
Because it
because
sucks.
we like horror, and we want it to be as good as it can be.
Well, I like good writing, so...
And we like good writing.
I like good writing.
And we like
I like good acting.
I don't like to criticize
I do.
kids,
I do.
because they're growing, and
It doesn't matter.
they're not all
It's the
superstars.
director. The directors
Yes.
directed them like that, and so the kids are gonna get some shit too because the directors did that. They're the ones who, put it on them.
So anyway, I think we've covered that over
Yeah,
and
you,
over.
you have to rate it though. You have to rate
Well, I
this.
rated it. What did I rate it? I gave it a C minus, and I had more things to complain about than be happy about. And I'm trying to look here because I had a whole list. I said C minus. Stupid pretend sex. Stupid
There was
pretend.
no sex in the whole episode.
Stupid pretend kills. Turning Chucky into Michael Meyer? Question mark. The pathway to the end. What is it? Do middle school gay kids really feel comfortable about displaying their relationships in front of their classmates?
No.
Horrible parents. Lexi's mother and Junior's mother and father. And we didn't say that Junior's mother was seeing her analyst or her psychotherapist or whatever she was, and she has a terrible stage of cancer, and she's afraid to tell her family, which that's all understandable. But what does she do when they're at home? She says to her husband, after the boys left the table because of the telephone thing, she says, and Marco has it remembered better than me, but she complains about Jake being there. Do we really need another child here? So what's he going to do, send him to an orphanage? I mean, so here she is. She's got a horrible sickness. And she's complaining about Jake, whose father was murdered. And he's being a good uncle. I mean, they're hardly paying attention to him anyway.
He's basically like the third wheel.
Yeah, and it's almost like he's invisible.
Yeah.
That's why when he had the phone thing, it's probably a good thing, because at least they noticed him. And the only reason why they noticed him, because Junior was complaining that his girlfriend was texting him.
Junior.
Oh, where?
He'll never be a Master Chef Junior, though.
Whatever. I hate to complain about him, too, because we're part Filipino. not very much of a big part, but we are part Filipino. My grandfather, Marco's great grandfather, was Filipino. So anyway, and this boy is
Yeah, well,
Filipino.
you can complain about any person. It doesn't matter what their race or gender is.
I know that, but I just
Safi.
don't like doing it.
Well, I
because of
do
that.
because it's equal.
He's not a very
It's supposed
good
to be
actor.
equal, right, Safi?
I know,
Equal.
he's not a very good actor. And like we said, though, it's not all their fault. They're young, and they have a director who isn't young and who's had experience more than them, and he can tell them what to do. Is there a blue collar? Oh, okay. All right, so that's it. So
Well,
I gave him a C minus. Okay.
It's sad because like it was enjoyable, but it was just bad. Uh, so I would give it a D plus
Yeah.
because just all these little things weigh it down. All these just little things are gonna add up. You can't just ignore them because you're trying to be a nice guy to impress people on YouTube channels.
Yeah, we're trying to be the nice guys.
You know, I'm trying to be honest. Well, you haven't even seen the Nice Guys movie, Safi. You never even watched that one. So why are you making that reference?
I didn't even know there was one.
Yeah, with Ryan Gosling and the fat guy. What was the fat guy's name from Russell Crowe? God, he's gotten fat.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Russell Crowe?
What about Russell Crowe?
He's in the Nice Guys. He's the other guy, and it's the two nice guys.
Okay.
And they're
I vaguely remember that. That was a couple of years ago.
it was a pretty good movie. It's just kind of forgettable though. You know,
Okay.
it's pretty good though. But there was one last thing. They made Chucky gay too. Well, they made him bisexual because in the scene with Tiffany and Nika, which I'll point out another really trash thing, is that they reused the same room and the same bed for the flashback origin and for the modern day scene with Nika and Tiffany. Did you notice that, Safi? That was the same room that they killed the blonde in, that they had the two guys in.
No.
So I thought that was lazy, and they could have at least like redressed it to make it look different, because it looked exactly the same. They even showed the same angles too, the same camera angles. But Nika is saying that or Tiffany's saying she's hungry, and I think Nika says something like she's also hungry for a little snack, and she's looking at the practically the naked guy sitting in the chair, tied up, and then Tiffany says that she's glad that Chucky has expanded his palate, and so what does that mean? It means Chucky is now bisexual. And I thought, oh, God, you just had to do that. You just had to turn Chucky gay, too. Like, you can have Jake and Devin be gay, even though it doesn't make sense at all to the story. Especially they hold hands in public. Makes no sense whatsoever.
That being middle
But you have to turn Chucky gay, too. Like, really? Like, no. Chucky is not bisexual. And so I thought that, okay, you know what? I'm giving it an F minus, just for that alone. Having to add that agenda into things. So, that's
Okay,
about it. Are we
everybody.
done, Safi? We're
Yeah, we're
talking
done.
about all the little things.
There's just so
The-
many.
The little things that added up to 48 minutes.
Yeah, we've got to go now. But anyway, bye everybody.
No, what should people do?
Well, be sure if you are already a subscriber to like the episode if you liked it. Make comments because we welcome your comments. We welcome your input. I just love to hear what other people thought about all these quote little things.
Yeah, what do you think about the little things? Not the shitty movie with Denzel Washington that we watched, but, you know, the little things in the show that suck.
And subscribe. We'd love to have new subscribers.
Yeah.
That's a really nice thing.
Yeah.
So goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.